You are live in the CNN newsroom. I'm Jim Acosta in Washington. We begin with a dangerous escalation in former President Donald Trump's violent and threatening language in the final days of the 2024 election. He is now saying former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney should be fired upon and have guns, quote, trained on her face with, quote, 9 barrels shooting at her. This is what he said.
She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face.
Cheney has responded to the former president saying this is how dictators destroy free nations. They threaten those who speak against them with death. We cannot entrust our country and our freedom to a petty, vindictive, cruel, unstable man who wants to be a tyrant. And just moments ago, a Trump campaign spokeswoman said this in a statement. President Trump was clearly explaining that warmongers like Liz Cheney, these are her words, are very quick to start wars and send other Americans to fight them rather than go into combat themselves. My first guest to talk about this morning is Republican Congressman Tim Burchett of Tennessee. Congressman, thanks so much for being with us. You and I have had many discussions about this campaign, so I appreciate coming on here right before Election Day. I have to ask you about this violent language that Trump is using against Liz Cheney, talking about having guns trained on her face. Do you approve of that kind of rhetoric?
Well, clearly, President Trump was talking about how she's quick to get American troops into war and young people die, and yet she's not facing any of that. That's clearly what he was stating, and any other thoughts on that would be a misstatement. Obviously, he was not calling for her assassination or anything like that. It was clearly saying if she wanted to go to war, then she ought to be out there on the lines. And so
when she,
the Cheney family has profited greatly from American wars. I'm sitting in front of a 48-star flag that was on my uncle's casket in the Second World War. My dad fought the Japanese. My mama lost her oldest brother fighting the Nazis. My mama flew an airplane during the Second World War.
Yeah, but Congressman, when he says 9 barrels, when he says 9 barrels shooting at her, that obviously evokes images of a firing squad. It evokes images of an execution, does it not? Why would he say 9 barrels?
I don't know why he would say 9. I didn't know there were 9 barrels in a firing squad, honestly. So I'm at a little loss at that. But he was clearly speaking of if you're going to go send people into combat, you ought to be the first one to go. And she would obviously not be going, or her family, but they've greatly profited off of wars in our past, and their history is well known.
Isn't it a bit much, though, for Donald Trump to, if you want to use that generous interpretation, to criticize Liz Cheney and say, she should be sent off into battle if she's going to start wars, when Donald Trump claimed he had bone spurs and didn't go to Vietnam?
Well, I don't know about all that, actually, Jim. He did apparently have that, and that is a reason to not go. Obviously, a lot of people didn't go. My father went. My mom's brother went. All my mom's brothers went. Her brother Roy never came home. So I get it. Those kind of statements are made. It's close to the end of the election. Liz Cheney has been on the attack of President Trump, and frankly, a lot of Americans, since she was soundly beaten for Congress and kicked out of her leadership office when she became disloyal to the leadership. So, she has a history of that. She's looking for a job.
But you don't want Liz Cheney. Yeah, but you don't want Liz Cheney to be shot. I mean, he should not be saying that Liz Cheney should be sent off in a situation where she should be shot. I mean, can't we just all agree that that's out of bounds?
I hope nobody gets shot. But under this administration, unfortunately, we've been in a lot of wars, and we weren't in very many under Trump. And I think so. That's clearly a deflection on their part. They're seizing upon everything. This is no issue that will decide anything. It just allows Liz Cheney to get up and sell more books and be more critical of the Trump administration.
But it's the former president. It's Trump who's saying this. I mean, I just can't imagine what the outcry would be if the roles were reversed. I mean, I just, to me, Congressman, and you and I had lots of discussions.
Well, Mark Cuban says.
Why not say he? Why not say he shouldn't say these sorts of things?
About Republican women being stupid, yet you have people like Tulsi Gabbard and Riley Gaines, people like that are strong very intelligent women that get out front, yet they're criticized, but I don't hear CNN criticizing him. So
Mark Cuban is not running.
Year.
He's not running for president. This is Donald Trump saying that Liz Cheney should be fired upon. And it just seems to me, sitting in front of the American flag, Congressman, with all due respect, I mean, to me, at what point does a Republican member of Congress call out Trump for this kind of language? I just don't get it. At some point, doesn't any of this matter? Isn't this important that a candidate for president is saying that Liz Cheney should be shot right before an election? I just don't. I respect you, Congressman. You and I have had lots of conversations. I just don't get it. It's outrageous.
Are you going to let me talk?
Sure.
Okay. He was not saying that. He was clearly saying if she's all for these wars, she ought to get out front and volunteer for service to her country and get out and on the front lines. Like in Ukraine, one of those wars that she's voted heavily to support and to fund that Americans are doing without because we sent $200 billion overseas at the industrial war complex, or the war pimps, as they like to profit. Our family has profited greatly from that.
Totally legitimate issue. Totally legitimate issue to talk about getting the country out of wars. Let's say Donald Trump is elected. I do want to ask you one policy question before I let you go. If Donald Trump does get into the Oval Office again, Mike Johnson remains Speaker. Are you going to repeal Obamacare? Will there be an effort to repeal Obamacare? Would you like to see that happen?
I would like to see it modified. I hear a lot of Americans say they can't afford their health care now under Obamacare. I would like the free market to work at some point. I wish we could put our differences aside and work towards the American people and providing some quality health care. But by socializing medicine is not going to do that. People stand in line to get surgeries overseas in Canada and those places. Margaret Thatcher, she had her teeth fixed after she got out of office. You know where she got her teeth fixed? In the United States of America. So I think we ought to start looking at maybe our healthcare system, our doctors and nurses.
So you're saying modified, not repealed. You're saying modified, not repealed.
Yeah, I would say modified because there's good portions of it. I sure as heck don't want poor people to go without health care. But when I see middle income people who can't afford it under Obamacare and could afford some sort of health care prior to that, I would like to see us look at those things. The problem we've got is too many middlemen and too many money changers in Washington that are profiting from this every which way. I would like to get the doctors at the table and the patients at the table and ask them what they need and cut everybody else out.
All right, Congressman, thanks for your time. Good to talk to you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim. It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. All right, Michigan.